Alright, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Rogue Soul channel. This is your host Javante, and I am coming back with another video. First off, do you like the backdrop? Because I love it. And when I found it again last night, I said, you know what, I'm going to put it up. I'm going to actually do it and get the desk cleaned off and actually, try it out, see how it looks, and I like it, so I'm gonna continue on with it. Now, in my previous video, I know I said that I was going to be taking this channel into a different direction as far as like airing out my struggles and my vices, the things that I have to sort of like work to make myself a better person. And today I want to talk about something that's again very personal to me. Again, I'm not a person that typically dishes out personal like information as far as struggles, as far as what they're going through, but I'm gonna do this for, again, my journey, and for the purposes that this may also help somebody else that may be going through the same thing and not really have anybody to like relate to or tell them that either it's not okay to do this, or maybe it's time to start making like better choices, or or just someone that you could just see, hey, I was this way, but I'm changing and I'm growing. So with that being said, today I want to talk about sort of feeling like you're not enough and faking your way through life. Both of these topics are very true to me, because I remember, I grew up in a environment that wasn't really like encouraging of, someone to, be their authentic selves. It was more of, well, why can't you be like this? Or, don't talk like that, don't walk like that, it's just sort of like, don't behave in like this manner, but not in like a way that's like, like a child being bad, or, anything of the such like that. Just sort of, taking away not actually allowing the child to actually be themselves fully, but sort of like molding the child into what you want them to be, or trying to mold them into what you want them to be. And over time, with me dealing with that and dealing with relatives that were like that, I became bitter and angry. Times I did realize it, sometimes I didn't, just as I continued to grow, and I just felt that I wasn't good enough, just me being myself, that I had to create a persona to be for the world. I had to create different ways of being for different groups of people that I may be around. This is the persona you have for your family. This is the persona you have for work. This is the persona you have for friends. It's like, I don't know if you guys ever played The Sims, but it's like going into create a sim, where you're creating the sim and, choosing like the way that they dress, their attitudes, their personalities, and characteristics, and just sort of just going through that step and try to get the sim to your liking before you put it out into the sim world. So I would do that for myself like 20 times over, and I would have a a persona that I would be for many different people, you know. And then over the course of getting, angry and bitter, I started to also learn how to mimic. And I'll get more on that in a minute. But I just want to touch on how, these are aspects that I've carried into my adulthood life, past, teenage, past even college, 28 years of just doing this. And I say that because once you, at some point you're unaware, but also at some point when you get to a spot in life, you're actively choosing to still hold on to that trauma, because by the time I reached an adult, I didn't already had it in my mind set that this was the way that I had to be. This was what I had to do in order to survive, in order to live, so that people wouldn't hurt me, wouldn't um, bash me, wouldn't try to walk all over me. I had to act a certain way. You have to be witty, you have to be cool, you have to be the party guy, you have to you have to mold yourself to different people and different groups of people. So with that, I learned, with me being so angry as a child and frustrated and bitter going through, being a child and a teenager, I also developed a habit of um, wanting to. I developed the attitude of I'm going to learn how to do it and I'm going to do it better. Not realizing that I wasn't really learning, I was actually just mimicking what others did. So, prime example, like I know throughout schooling, my best friends were adults. And I know, growing up, I felt like I had to sort of like be in this adult mindset. The goal was be an adult, be older than, act like you have, more sense than what you do have, basically. And I kept that. And so over time, I grew to have conversations with different adults. I would go to school and majority of my conversations would be with adults, not really children like my own age. And when I did have conversations with children my own age, I would utilize what I learned in having conversations with adults to talk to the other children my own age. And of course, over time, I as I grew older, it was still the same. And then I became an adult and I was still carrying over the same tactics. So, in a sense, I started mimicking how, okay, so this is how an adult talks. So let me talk like that. Or, I would also do all types of research, R&D, research and development is what I would call it. And I would, watch movies and see, how the adults act in, the movies. I would, I had a grandmother that watched the news all the time, so I would learn and keep up with like current events that was taking place, I would pay attention to like my surroundings, even in conversation, and be in conversations I really shouldn't have been in at a young age, whether it be listening in or being, made like a part of those said conversations, or just being around. I would pay attention to my environment, and I would see and analyze how the adults around me were maneuvering, and I would develop my own way of, okay, well, this is how you don't want to go about it like this, because this didn't pan out for them. But what you could do is this, that, and the third. That seems to be a more likely outcome. And that's how I would approach things. So I would take all this information that I was gathering, not knowing that it really wasn't teaching me anything but to sort of act. And I realized this fairly recently, that with my family that I have now, with helping me and guiding me, that even now I'm getting emotional bringing it up, that I wasn't really prepared in the best of way to really actually grow up. And what I mean by that is actually like learning how to communicate with people, learning different things at different stages, like actually learning and building those building blocks to being an actual good functioning person, not just an adult, but just a functioning person. So when I got out there into the world and I got into different spaces, for example, work, it was more so like, oh, I'm going to work, this is my job, this is what I do, this is how it is. It was more of, say, like your inner child playing work. It was more so like, hey, all right, we gotta go to work today. So I'm gonna go and pack my briefcase. I'm gonna go put on my work clothes. I'm gonna go to work. Okay, this is how these people act at work. This is what they do. So let me, in turn, just do that. And over the course of my adult life, I've been faking it. I've been faking like I've, had it all together, like I'm very much so this mature and, wise person, when I really don't know too much of anything at all. And this is not to put like blame or anything on, like any like full-fledged blame on like anybody, any of my relatives in the past, or as far as my upbringing. I acknowledge full well that, with, me reaching certain stages in life, yes, I made those choices wholeheartedly to go about situations the way that I went about them, to continue on to like fake the funk, instead of, speaking up, telling people how I actually feel, instead of putting on a persona around for everybody that I get around. Here's this group of friends. This is how I'm going to act around them. There's this, here are work colleagues. This is how I'm going to be around them. Not, but also realizing that those are two completely different people, in a sense that you're never being yourself around anybody. You're never close friends, family, relatives. And then you, over time, and I know I say you, but I'm talking about myself. Myself, I pushed people away. I've always just wanted to be alone and isolated so I can keep up these things so that no one would really get to know or get to see that, deep down, I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't. I can sit here and say I still don't. I still need help. Thank God I still have my, family here to like help and guide me, and it takes a lot of talking to God and, coming to these realizations. And I still have my slip ups. I still have my times where, I still isolate myself even to this day. I still have my times where I don't, talk to my family or fully express how I feel with them. And, I'm taking it day by day and I'm trying to develop those skills more and more and trying to keep myself encouraged so I don't go into like a dark space of just giving up and going back to old patterns that don't really serve me anymore. And I'm getting emotional again. I say that to say this, to anyone out there that may be going through the same things. You're not alone. I get it. Um, I'm taking it day by day. I still struggle with it. I'm learning and taking the steps, moving forward to actively do better in expressing how I really feel, do better in not putting on a show for anybody that isn't truly myself, and not hiding myself away or feeling like, I myself don't matter. And I'm still discovering myself day by day. It's been a long time since I've been my actual, just full-fledged, just being my goddamn self and not having to put up a show for anybody. And it took a lot of conversations, like with my family, a lot of heart to hearts, a lot of, tears, a lot of anger, frustration, to sort of get me to see that I was harming myself and people that I care about by doing and continuing on like in this way. So I'm encouraging myself and I'm encouraging you out there too. Keep going. It's a long journey. It's a process. I know me myself, I'm learning patience. I want things quick, and a lot of times the easy way, and life and God is teaching me to have more patience with myself, to have more patience with life, to have just more patience, period, point blank. And I know I'm also like quick to anger in regards to being impatient. I have a lot that I'm working on, nonetheless. But I am happy that I get to express and talk about it, and I'm happy I have my family to sort of help and guide me, and I'm happy I have spirit or God or whoever that means to you to sort of like help me and guide me along the way, because I haven't really been like a spiritual person throughout my life, and I'm just now getting back to finding that within myself and just finding that like period. But that helps as well. But also just again taking it day by day, saying, okay, today I'm gonna do something that's more of just me. When someone asks me a question, I'm not going to give them a response that I think they want to hear. I'm going to give them a response that I would actually say. If I don't know what they're talking about, I'm going to state that I don't know what they're talking about. I may ask questions so that I can, again, like understand more of what they're expressing. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh yes, when I don't, just little stuff like that. And I'm still excited for this journey. I'm still nervous. As you can tell, it is extremely hot. So forgive me. I don't know where you live, but where I'm at, it's 90 degrees, and it's crazy to me. But yeah, but thank you for joining me for this conversation. I just wanted to, again, do another video, sort of talk about some things that I'm struggling with, and airing that out, holding myself accountable as well, and putting it out there, seeing if hopefully it does resonate with someone that may be going through the same things, and I hope it truly does help you. Have faith, have hope, and keep on going. You'll get to yourself, your true self, and you can make yourself, a better person along the way. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'm very glad that you did, whoever did, and I'll see you next time on the Rogue Soul channel. Thank you.